An important skill in pool is predicting where the cue ball is going to go after you make a shot. For example, we might have to detect if we're going to scratch or not. We might want to break up a cluster of balls. We might want to get positioned for the next shot. There's countless examples where you have to predict fairly accurately where that cue ball is going to go on the next shot. So I'm going to show you several reference lines that are useful to help you predict where the cue ball is going to go with different types of spin in English. The first is the most obvious. It's the 90-degree rule that says if the cue ball is sliding when it hits the object ball, it's a stun shot or a stop shot with an angle, the cue ball will head in the tangent line direction. There's several ways to visualize that. One is, if you push the cue stick in the direction that you want to push this ball, that shows you the tangent line. All right. Another way is just to use your hand, thumb and index finger, hold it at 90 degrees, point the finger in the direction you want the object ball to go. The thumb will point in the direction of the tangent line. Another way to do it is just to put your cue along the object ball direction you want, and then you can just visualize, you can see that line, perpendicular to this cue. That's your tangent line. So I'm going to mark this one reference position on the table. Perpendicular to the object ball direction, the tangent line. This is where the cue ball would head for a perfect stun shot. So let's try that. I've marked the cue ball position, the object ball position, and the center of the ghost ball with these hole reinforcement donuts so we can reposition the shot the same every time. So let's first look at the stun shot, or as some people say, a stop shot at an angle. So again, this is our impact line, or target line for the object ball. Our tangent line is perpendicular to that. So I've marked that with this chalk on the opposite rail. So if that cue ball is sliding into the object ball with stun, it will head exactly in that direction. I slightly undercut that shot, so we went a little bit to the left of our ideal tangent line. Another useful reference is for a rolling cue ball. And the 30-degree rule tells us that if the cue ball is rolling at impact, the cue ball will deflect its angle by very close to 30 degrees. And this applies for a wide range of cut shots. Or here we have a half ball hit that happens to be the center of that range. But that range is anywhere from a quarter ball to a three-quarter ball hit. Over that wide range of shots, the cue ball will deflect at very close to 30 degrees. And the Dr. Dave P-sign method helps you predict that direction fairly accurately. For most people, the firm but relaxed V sign is exactly 30 degrees. And you can buy one of these plastic drafting triangles at a local arts supply store. And this is called a 30-60-90 triangle. This is the 30-degree angle. So you can form your firm but relaxed V sign, put it up against your triangle, and see how close you are. So to use the P sign, you point one finger in the direction of your cue ball's motion. The second finger, which is 30 degrees away, will tell you which way the cue ball will head for a rolling cue ball shot. So let's see how that works. A third useful reference is for a draw shot. And this reference is for what's considered a close to maximum draw. We're not hitting at the missed cue limit, but we're hitting fairly low on the ball and with enough speed to prevent drag action on the cue ball. And the system that helps you here is called the Trisect system. And you can also use your hand to visualize this. All right, you point one finger in the direction of your cue ball motion. You point your other finger in the direction of the object ball. This defines the cut angle for this shot. Because this is a half ball hit, this happens to be our trusty peace sign 30-degree angle. So cue ball motion, one finger, object ball motion, second finger. Now ideally, where these two lines meet, that defines the vertex of this angle, that point should be directly over the center of the ghost ball. All right, and the way the Trisect system works, it's called Trisect because this angle is 1/3 of a bigger angle. All right, so we have to pivot this angle twice. All right, so again, we have the cue ball direction, object ball direction. We pivot our cue ball finger into the angle of the shot once. We pivot it again twice. After you pivot twice, we've just made 3 times the angle. That final direction tells you the direction of the cue ball for a maximum or close to maximum draw. For a half ball hit, it happens to be perpendicular to the direction of the original cue ball motion. So again, close to maximum draw. The cue ball headed pretty much perpendicular to its original line. So I'm going to mark that position on our rail. It was about here. So now, for this particular shot, we have three very clear reference lines that tell us where the cue ball is going to go for a wide range of shots. So if we needed to break out a cluster right here, or avoid a scratch over here, or get position up table for a shot, we know what kind of spin to put on the cue ball, what kind of vertical plane spin, top spin or bottom spin, or some amount in between. So these are three very useful references to help us predict that motion for any shot. Now in this example, the Trisect system predicted that a close to maximum draw shot headed in this direction, which was perpendicular or 90 degrees away from our original aiming line. The reason for that is that this is a half ball hit, which is a 30-degree cut angle. So when we applied the Trisect system, we had 30 degrees, and we pivoted our hand twice. We've added 60 more degrees. All right, so that's 90 degrees total. For a thicker or fuller hit, the Trisect system would predict a totally different line. For a thinner hit, it would predict a totally different line again. Again, it depends on this angle. So let's look at each reference again. I'll start with our stun shot, or stop shot at an angle. That should head in the 90-degree direction, right towards this chalk. Okay, let's look at the rolling cue ball shot now, where the 30-degree rule applies. The cue ball should head towards this chalk. Dead on. Now let's try the Trisect system direction. So that was pretty good. Came very close to what we had predicted with our hand.